This is Mile High.
We have to do it better in order to move people along.
Up, down, inside out.
If you get your mind right,
it is not. It is a receiver of thought.
because love is my first technique.
It's now time for the show.
Welcome to the Mile High Podcast. This is your host, Dr. Daniel Knowles. Thank you for joining us for yet another episode. And before I introduce our guest, I am going to say, if you're listening to this while you are on iTunes or Stitcher or YouTube or Facebook or one of many ways you can get this podcast internationally, just hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. We have so much quality content coming out of them, and these are being downloaded worldwide, and we do not want you to miss out. And speaking of missing out, we do not want you to miss out on the greatest event of the year, which is Mile High, August 17th to 20th, just 15 days, short days away. People, chiropractic teams from around the world are going to be rising up to a new altitude to experience the 5th Mile High Chiropractic Movement Weekend. And so with that, I find it extremely fitting for this week's episode to be with Dr. Liam Shubel, who is known around the world. He has been with us at every Mile High. In fact, maybe we'll even get to the story. There may not have been, I don't think there would have been Mile High without Liam Shubel. In fact, I know that, and maybe we'll share that story at some point. Welcome to the Mile High Podcast, Dr. Shubel.
Danny?
Yeah?
You know what this is called?
What?
A dramatic pause.
Brilliant.
Yes. Thank you, Danny, for the introduction. I have to tell you, I'm very excited to be here with you today for another smash hit podcast here with the Mile High crew. I got to tell you, Danny, it's very exciting what's happening. Do you know that some college presidents are even referring to me and the Dalai Lama in the same sentence? I mean, that's how big this thing is starting to become. The CWD, the Chiropractic World Dominance, the movement that is taking over the world with TIC. And of course, I'm always thrilled, Danny, to be on the Mile High stage. Even though I only have 30 seconds, I think, or a minute to speak, many people say it's the best half a minute to minute that they've ever experienced in their life. And of course, I'm always happy to close out the event. I'm very proud of some of the awards that I've received. You know, the Mile High Vision Award, who I know Dr. Andy Roberts is also a recipient of that, who, of course, I'm a big fan of. As you can see, Danny, I'm drinking out of my Art of the Specific cup this morning. And this is the best lemon juice that money could buy on the planet, Danny. So if you see my face, just twitter up and pucker up. That's the reason. But I am thrilled to be here. And again, it's always a pleasure to be with the caliber of individual that you are right as far as transforming we live. So thank you much, Dan, for speaking this morning.
Well, we are grateful to have you. We know you're extremely busy. 19 offices, last count I have. It might be up from there since then. I can't keep up with you. 30 doctors, 150 employees. You've got a lot going on. So to get you to have your time for Mile High is we're quite grateful for. And you know, it's one thing to be successful. It's a whole other thing to help others be successful. And that's one of your gifts. And that's probably why people are mentioning you along with people like the Dalai Lama.
Well, it's true, Danny. You know, we are at about 20 chiropractic offices at this point.
Wow.
Of course, in 3 different countries. We're in Peru, the Dominican Republic, and Colombia. And we continue to grow. And the reason we continue to grow is because we're experts at communicating the chiropractic message. And that is the only message we communicate. One of the things about the IFO, the National Federation of Chiropractors, an organization, their entire focus is getting the message out to the world about the importance of the detection, analysis, and correction of vertebral subluxation in order to optimize the human expression on the planet, to allow the innate intelligence of the body to express itself optimally. And there are so many other things, other components of that into optimal health, of course. But chiropractic, the contributing factor that we have, the unique contributing factor that we have, is detection, analysis, and correction of vertebral subluxation. And while many focus on so many other aspects and components of health, we find that the vertebral subluxation is something that is wreaking havoc on the potential of the planet. It's something that is rampant. It's something that every human being comes across during the course of their life, and it's something that needs to be addressed in children, in adults, and frankly, as you know, your good friend Dr. Jacob Eric, and my friend as well, and animals as well. Any vertebrate, certain chiropractor, in order my experience. So we keep expanding because we never step down. We always stand up to any opportunity that presents itself to get this message out to the world. And Mile High, I think, is a staging point for some of the greatest leaders on the planet to bring this message to chiropractors and then have them be fired up, and not only just fired up, okay, motivated, but also have the tools, tips, and strategies, skills to then develop the understanding, the knowledge, the certainty, and the ability to deliver the goods in their chiropractic practices. Because we live in a medicated world, because we live in a allopathic world, many times we're going into the world with our vitalistic message, and things start to happen where we get beat down. Where we kind of feel like we're on an island. And so one of the worst things, and I'm working with doctors all around the world right now. By the way, just so you know, to coach with me for a month is $5,000. So like I'm at a point where I only work with very elite doctors of chiropractic that have multiple offices. And I got to tell you, in some ways, the work that I do with them is similar to the work that I used to do with individual docs in their individual offices. In order to be able to expand, you need two things. You have to be able to have your mindset down, and that's one of the things that people that work with me so often say. I've been to all these seminars where people are working on how to do this, how to do that, how to do the other thing, but they never explain to me the why behind that. And when you marry the why to the how, you absolutely become unstoppable as a practitioner of chiropractic. And I'm even working with people that have multiple businesses and franchises in so-called the non-chiropractic world, right? Because the principles are the same. One of the reasons I love chiropractic is it's based on 33 immutable fundamental principles, right? They don't change. They're the Palmer laws of life. And the same thing applies to success or abundance in any component of life, right? If you follow the 30 principles and the punch, you might help this. You have an option, then you have to follow and principles have been looked at thinking what I'm trying to, as you be myself, I believe the invention of printing in the early 1500s, or maybe even the 100s in Germany.
And that's quite an achievement.
I mean, a lot of people are talking about it. This is why they're talking about me and the Dalai Lama in the same sentence, obviously. So this is one of the greatest books ever written about the mindset, the why behind chiropractic. And I got to tell you, I get letters every week from students and docs that say, this book transformed the way I think, and therefore it's transformed my experience in school, or it's transformed my experience in practice and the level of abundance I have. But I found is that there are so many chiropractors that say, okay, I got the why now. How do I make this happen? How do I implement the why into a successful system, right, in my practice? And that's what Dr. Judd O'Grady and I are focused on right now. And I'll be sharing some of this at Mile High as well, some tidbits. We're working on probably the greatest how-to book in the chiropractic profession. And again, the principles that we're going to be expressing in this second book are going to be principles that can not only be used in the chiropractic profession, but we're going to write it specifically for the chiropractic profession, but we're also then going to go on and write this book for the general population at large, and that's really where we're moving towards. I've been working so many years with chiropractors, and what I'm finding is, Danny, principles are principles. When you're talking about principles of chiropractic, apply them, you will be successful. You're talking about the principles of business, apply them, you will be successful. The principles of a good relationship, the principles of love, they're all, it's either you're line or you're out of line, right? I mean, it sounds, chiropractic spine, right? Either it's in line or it's out of line. And when it's out of line, things go into chaos and things move into crisis and you become reactionary. And what we're looking to do is create a higher level of adaptability, which I know you love that word because you're the network wizard, right? And I got to tell you, by the way, I just want to do a plug on network. Network is my secret weapon. It's my secret success weapon. Dr. Donna Mutter, is my a chiropractic practitioner, and she has this. I believe it's the CLA station, right?
Yes.
That our man has, David Fletcher. And I got to tell you, when they do that adaptability thing, what's the technology that they have with the little pin?
Variability.
Heart rate variability. Holy smokes, is that thing amazing? I mean, she'll run that thing on me, and it'll be all the way off the chart. Because Danny, I'm a visionary, so I'm not actually here right now. I'm actually 2025. So she always says, "Shubel, come back to your body. It needs you right now in the present time consciousness." So she helps to bring me back into this world, right? Because I'm not of this world. I'm in this world, and I'm moving to the next world. So it's fascinating to watch the posts of the heart rate variability test, and it really does show that chiropractic is not about back pain and neck pain. I mean, it couldn't be farther from that if you ever thought of it. It's about adaptability, and those who adapt are those who thrive.
Well,
so that's what I love.
I'm grateful that you mentioned a couple things there that I love: IFCO, subluxation, adjustment, adaptability. And the reason why you mentioned all those things, as well as that, there's this whole slew of stuff in the health, care world, is that chiropractors, the one thing, I mean, how many people are there that are professions that really have the ability to locate, analyze, and correct subluxations? How many professions, right?
It's a sake, yeah.
Just us.
Right. That's it.
We're the only ones. So here's the thing: when we have such an incredible gift, and then we put attention on everything else, this gift becomes like such a treasure for the people that actually practice the way, because it makes them unique.
It's so funny because I was listening to Dr. Michael Viscarelli, a good friend of mine. He was speaking at Mile High, and he has a gigantic practice. I think he sees like close to 1 billion people a week or something like that. I mean, it's amazing how many people he's seeing there, but it's definitely over 1,000 people a week. And he was saying, my marketing strategy is unique. It's called Vertebral Subluxation, and I have a chiropractor, good things, and everything. I mean, that's why in this practice. So I get it. You want to think, but you have marketing. Imagine selling gold. We're up this gold, going, "Hey, boo," and we want to have other thing over here. It's like, well, now I'm not the gold expert. Now I'm the hodgepodge expert. And so again, there's value in so many. I mean, I love all the natural health products that are out there. There's value in all that. There's nobody that doubts that. But the challenge is that a patient or a practice member that comes into your office, they start to get diluted and confused. And I've seen so many actual patients that will actually start to drop out from the chiropractic portion, and they'll say, "Hey, give me that weight loss stuff, or give me that, and that's like becomes the doctor of chiropractic is the weight loss guy, or the doctor of chiropractic is now, the foot leveler guy, or and again, all good products, nobody's bashing them, right? That now he's the nutritionist guy, and you just say, gosh, I mean, now the guy's on a nutrition program, but he's subluxated. What kind of value is that, in the long term?
And you realize that the thing that is the reason why we exist is getting lost, right? And the reason why we're there, what we're supposed to be taking care of, what we have to offer that no one else has to offer, our unique selling proposition, we're not highlighting as what it is that we do. And that's why we have with Mile High, that's an event or a program that's just totally focused in that area. Because if chiropractors want to get access to lasers, they can find those things. There's benefits to it. There's no shortage of places where they can, link up and get those. So like they don't need to get it at this event, right? And
Well,
nothing saying bad about it, but they have places they can get that.
absolutely, and it is. There's a very important thing about being separate and distinct. It can actually mean your survival in many cases. I was talking to some chiropractors in Brazil this past weekend. I talk to chiropractors all over the world, and
Do you
again,
really?
I do. I'm coaching all the time. I do a lot of work in the legal and political realm, as well as the educational realm. Matter of fact, my Facebook Live that goes out every week, many are calling it today's real chiropractic leadership because of my advanced understanding in the education world, in the political world of chiropractic, and a certain practical business application world. So I was talking to these doctors of chiropractic in Brazil, and they're putting forth now a new chiropractic law, which is only about the detection, analysis, and correction of vertebral subluxation. Now, if you know the history of the legal history and political history of chiropractic in Brazil, Palmer College of Chiropractic went down there and opened one or two schools, and they brought, if you can believe this, Danny, they brought the model, the insurance model of the United States, which is basically physiotherapy. Why do we have physiotherapy? Because we could get paid for it by insurance, and all those ancillary procedures that were originally brought into chiropractic as extra means of gaining income. By the way, do they help people? Yes, of course they help people as well, right? In some cases, you could make that argument. But here's what happened in Brazil. They went in with those ancillary things, the physiotherapy techniques, and the physiotherapists in Brazil had been around and licensed and legislated for 100 years. So they came in and they said, whoa, wait a minute. What did they have a problem with? Did they have a problem? Did the physiotherapists have a problem with the detection, analysis, correction of vertebral subluxation? No, not at all. They had a problem with all the ancillary things that chiropractors were bringing in because they said, you're not licensed to do that. And so what's great about this new law that they're providing is that now it's focused. And guess what the physiotherapists are saying? Oh, you want that? That's fantastic. Yeah, that's what you do. And, you've seen it in Colorado, Danny. The governor said, what the heck are you guys doing? Not you, I don't mean you, but some of the chiropractors, they're saying, you're asking to practice medicine. I can't, you're embarrassing me. You guys are not medical doctors, and that's not a put down. You guys are not medical doctors. That's not what you do. Why would I allow you to inject things into people? Why would I?
Be proud of what it is that you do. Be proud of what it is that you do.
That's it. I mean, why would I allow you to vaccinate? Why would I allow you to give drugs? I mean, that's the real point where I often say is, if we're going to start bringing things that aren't chiropractic into chiropractic, the danger is where do we stop with? And that's the whole issue. You come eliminated. What's the profession if you're not practicing?
Eliminate. Okay, right. Right. And then you're
and second doctor because you're a full-fledged doctor if you let rules. So you're a medical doctor of a first-rate chiropractor, and I tell you, Danny, you know this. Because influential people and college presidents refer to us in the same sentence as the Dalai Lama, because that happens. Constantly ask us for referrals for chiropractors. I had to say, hey, do you have somebody in London the other day? Do you have somebody in Sao Paulo? And get this. Some of the most difficult referrals that I receive is, oh, do you have somebody in the United States? Yeah, where? Okay, you have some Omaha, Nebraska, and I have somebody, in Omaha, Nebraska, El Cocha. But in many states and in many cities in the United States, you go to look around and you say, okay, let me see who the chiropractor is. Now, there's 20 or 30 people that say they're chiropractors, right? And they are legally licensed chiropractors. But you look at what they do, and it's like, you can't find detection, analysis, correction of vertebral subluxation. They don't work with children. They only work with back pain and neck pain, and they use all kinds of ancillary therapies. And I've even had people that say, I went to a chiropractor in the United States, right? And I was with them for 2 weeks, and they never adjusted me. When are they going to adjust me? Or they only adjusted my low back because that's where I had the pain. They never cleared out my upper cervical region. What kind of hodgepodge and baloney do we have in our own country? We've got to clean up the United States with chiropractic. And again, I think what's going to help us do this, and Danny, this was a point where I wanted to get. and bring it back to Mile High. You know, so many chiropractors move into other therapeutic modes because they have never learned how to communicate the value of the detection, analysis, correction of vertebral subluxation. Now, I built my 20 practices in a cash environment, right? I mean, the no such thing of insurance. I've never taken an insurance dime. And by the way, I have no problem with people that take insurance. But what I'm telling you is this. With insurance or without insurance, you have to deliver the value of chiropractic. And if you don't even know what that is, well, then you've got a major problem in your practice, because those who can communicate value the best are those that have the best businesses, period.
And I'll tell you this, what you just said, so important, because all this stuff, when it comes back in this, your book that's coming with systems and success and financial success and money tip, right? One of the things I see is really when you get to why do people want to expand scope, do other things, have other products, etc., and not with judgment about the benefit of those things or not, but the main reason I feel is it comes back to scarcity. It comes back to a scarcity mindset that what I do is not enough, what I'm offering is not enough, the adjustment's not enough. You know, people aren't going to want that. I don't know how to make it valuable. I don't do it well. I don't even know how to do it. I'm not even certain it works because I have no certainty about it. So, you know, then I've got to do other stuff. And here's what came back. You know, there was recently this Wisconsin Chiropractic Association survey. Wisconsin Chiropractic Association survey, I don't know if you saw this, was about what people want in chiropractic offices, and that, the public said, oh yeah, we'd like to be able to over-the-counter medications in a chiropractic office. Again, like, there's no shortage of places that you can get over-the-counter medications. You need to get them in a chiropractic office. You can't just like get them at the grocery store. You know, we need to get them, you know, a chiropractic office. So because of that, it's coming back around in Colorado. Oh, we should add these things. Here's what I got. This message, you ready? If we're going to survive, we're going to survive. We have to adapt to survive. We have to adapt to survive. I'll change that around. We have to thrive. And we do have to adapt. We have to adapt in our communication, our education, our value, not become something we're not. You know?
You got it, brother. We do have to adapt. And Mile High is one of those principal focal points of learning adaptive strategies. And I listen to so many students that come to Mile High, and their lives are transformed because they're basically saying, and by the way, that's a chiropractic too, I know who I am, what I do, or why. I have $200 or more. Go ahead. For training. So much more. I have people always have more, right? Too expensive. Like, come work it. And I said, one of the things I do a lot of, you know, take that and cat themselves or themselves with it. And one of the questions I often do to new potential associates is, are you okay with just adjusting in the office? Are you okay with just detecting, analyzing, adjusting vertebral subluxation? And I got to tell you, it's a great question because many students are not. They think that's limited. That's a limited way to practice, right? You're only working with innate intelligence, right?
Or rather, it's limitless. You know?
Of course it's limitless. Of course it's limitless. I got to tell you, I don't care how many organic carrots you eat. You're not going to eat new cells. It's the innate intelligence of the body that makes that happen. You're not going to replace damaged cells with new cells, no matter how many foot orthotics you have. Right? It's the innate intelligence of the body that's going to do that. And what limits that ability for innate intelligence to express itself is one thing and one thing only, and that's the vertebral subluxation. And we're the only doctors in the world that are highly trained to detect, analyze, and adjust that thing called vertebral subluxation. And I love the fact that at Mile High, you're going to get, not my perspective, you're going to get, you have what, 550 speakers?
Something like that.
Right. You're going to get a perspective from each and every person. But here's the key, you know, and I was having an argument the other day with a very famous chiropractor. He was saying, you know, you and I have different perspective. And I said, great. That's a good thing that we have a different perspective. In business, you don't want to surround yourself with people that have Ember's new goals. You have with different perspectives, okay? But the objective that we have is the same. Our methods may be different, right? Our perspectives may be different, but our objective is the same. And the objective of the chiropractic profession needs to be gathering, gaining, and certainty in the chiropractic profession, and then being able to communicate that. And that's what you're going to get from high-level producers all throughout the profession. And by the way, I'm in the front row. You know, Danny, last year it was myself, Irene Gold. We're sitting in the front row listening to these speakers, taking notes, because I'm going to take the little nuggets from each and every person that presents with a different perspective and maybe a different method, right, but the same objective, and I'm going to take that back into my organization, and I'm going to make even more gold and platinum and diamonds and black diamonds out of the whole thing. So, you know, that's, and by the way, that's what somebody, you know, BJ Palmer used to say, whenever you think you're ripe, that's when you start to rot. And right. I am in a state of always learning, always picking something. I love hanging out with you, Danny. Danny, every time I hang out with you, we don't hang out enough. I learn stuff from you every single time I hang out. We got to get a skiing vacation or something put together.
Yeah, we got to do a skiing. We got to do two things: a skiing vacation, and maybe and also a Shubel Island beach vacation. We got to do that too.
Well, that's good. We've got the crab traps all set up for you, Danny. and don't worry, they're vegan crabs, so it's okay.
Perfect. Now, I want to get to something that will be very valuable for the people that are listening, okay? Yes. Added to building on what you just said, which is you go to so many chiropractic programs, right? I mean, tons of them, and you take in so much information, and you see the behaviors and traits of people working in your offices. When you see someone who's killing it, what does that look like? When they're just knocking out of the park, is you know, going hitting the ground running, what does that look like? What makes them different and tick?
Yeah, I know I know it won't surprise you, but it's gonna surprise a lot of people. It's the disappearance of ego. It's the absolute disappearance of the more volume. I could tell you. You tell me the number of people you're seeing. I'm going to tell you what your mindset is, and people hate that because you know they think that it's some kind of magical how. It's some kind of magical. It's always Danny's doing something differently. No, Danny's being something different than you, and it's a beingness, right? And so that what I find, and the best type of people that I work with are people that are okay with saying, look, and it's not an insult to the person. I know nothing. I'm a blank, clear slate. I want to be, and not be me, right? But I want to have that state of beingness, of certainty, of understanding, of communication. Tells I need to say, that's what I work with. You know, I level. Robbins always, you know, he can go any sports practitioner, you know, any high-level businessman, president of a country, and where does he start? With what they're thinking, what they're seeing themselves, and then what they're doing.
I'll tell you, he says as his business program, this is valuable. He says, don't get lost in the how. Because people start with the how, and then they never do anything because they don't know which how to do. Instead, you start with the state. What's your state? Okay. What's your why? Because you have to be in a good state to come up with a good why. If you're in a crappy state, it's not going to be a good why. What's your state? What's your why? And what's the outcome you're going for? And when that outcome becomes a must because of your state and your why, you'll have so many hows that you won't know what to do. You know, you're like, all these hows will come at you. I could do this, I could do this, but exactly, you don't have enough of a state and a why and an outcome that you're shooting for, then the how doesn't matter.
And again, Danny, and you see why, you know, there's some people that sell manuals and sell, books on how to do stuff, and those are great. But again, if I see so many people that buy the manual or buy the book and they think this is going to transform my life,
or the coaching program,
it has a bunch of how. And by the way, can it help you improve? Without question. But unless you have the why behind it, and that's why we spend weeks going over exercises that a person to do. By the way, and I know you're going to love this one too. We set up a series of rituals, right, that the person starts to do. You know, the person. Well, what do you do before you go to take care of people? Nothing. I take a shower and I just walk in the door. Right? I'm like, wrong. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Right? And now here's I got it. Why I begin, you have to go aside. What happens? People start to collectively things like, oh, yeah, sure, I like doing that, but I don't like doing that. And I'll just, you know what? You said to do it this way, but I'll modify it my way, and it's like, well, your way is the loser way, right? What we got to do is get it to the winner way. And then, by the way, once you're at a high level of production, then you can modify it and make it however you want it from that standpoint. But let's get up here first. You know what I'm saying? If I'm talking to, and Danny, I'm not a billionaire yet. I know a lot of people think I am because, again, college presidents name me in the same sentence as the Dalai Lama. But I'm not a billionaire. I'm in the probably tens of millions range at this point. But to be a billionaire, it requires a different set of mindset. And I'm training right now with a billionaire. And one of the things that we work with is mindset. Okay, that's the first thing we work with. And by the way, I got to tell you, what's phenomenal, what's fascinating, really, with a billionaire is a bit does less. Right. A millionaire on every that percent. A billionaire sits level of patience, analyzes every opportunity, and then jumps one time a year on the one that's going to produce way more than any of the 50 other millionaire opportunities that were presented themselves. And, that's what we see so often in the chiropractic profession. We saw it with the coffee. We saw it with the ketones, right? We like doctors. And again, this is all good stuff. So I'm not bad-mouthing coffee. I'm not bad-mouthing ketones. But chiropractors jump on that and say, wow, this is the new millionaire opportunity, right? And this is really going to transform people's lives. Yeah, what people? You maybe, with the financial part. But I got to tell you, long-term success comes from knowing who you are, what you do, and why, and then jumping just at the opportunity that is going to bring you to the mountaintop. And I got to tell you, in my experience, sticking with something that is rampant worldwide, detection, analysis, and correction of vertebral subluxation, and having the ability to communicate the value of that will set you up on a path of abundance, so much so that your only challenge in the future, my only challenge is getting highly qualified doctors of chiropractic, associates to work with me. That's my only challenge. There's no limit with the amount of new patients that there are. I hear people complain, oh, there's no new patients. Dude, there's tons of new patients. Walk down the street right now, there's 1 million new patients outside waiting for you.
Right.
But they're waiting for somebody to step up and talk about chiropractic in a way that entices them, that moves them towards them, rather than from a lack standpoint, from a, oh, please come to me standpoint, rather than you need what we have going on. We provide the best in this specific, unique format and service. Come on in, let's make this thing happen. And rather than speaking from a position of scarcity, you're from a position of, as I mentioned, of course, Williams, you start to talk with authority. You start to authority. You start to talking, and what a difference is. And by the way, that's one of the biggest challenges of new docs and new associates is don't have empty and authority. And the places where you get up is hanging out. That's what I do. That's all I've ever done. Is I surround myself with people that are producing on a higher level than I am. So it continually motivates me to move up.
Right. And that's
what
you have to do and get around. And I'll tell you, one of the things I love of going, you're wearing a Sherman College shirt, one of the great places to go in the world to, learn how to locate, analyze, and correct subluxations. One of the things I love going to things like Sherman Lyceum is not just the speakers. Like, I get stuff out of the speakers for sure. That's one of the things I love with Sherman Lyceum, IRAPs, Berkshires, right? But I get as much, if not more, from the conversations I have with people in the hallway.
Very good, right? Danny. Yes. And you know what I love, Danny, is exactly that. I love to watch the light bulb go on. My favorite part of taking care of people, right? And I know you're
That's
constantly doing the dinner with the docs, right? You're a master at doing that, right? Is watching a person, the light bulb of a potential, like, I never thought about. That's fantastic, right? This thing called chiropractic. I never heard of that. How come nobody ever told me that? Well, to see that in the hallways of Mile High, to see a doctor of chiropractic that's been beaten down, or a student that's completely lost and thinking about quitting. Imagine thinking about quitting the greatest profession on the planet. Because think about it. If we do this thing right called chiropractic, we get paid handsomely. I'm talking really handsomely. We get paid handsomely to love people and liberate the optimal expression of life. That's our gig for the rest of our lives. So you get out. I love it. I get out and it's a lovely event that you have there. It's in the Marriott, and beautiful places to hang out, have some drinks, have some nice eats, some appetizers. And, you know, the students come up to me or the doctors come up to me and to watch that light bulb of shift and change. And then to hear months afterwards, man, I'm so glad I went to Mile High. You know what? I was afraid to spend the money, but now I realize what a big investment this was. I mean, I actually made money going to Mile High because of the tips, the tools, and strategies that I received.
I hear that all the time. I get letters, you know, cards all the time. People that it gave them their life back or their, and it may not be a speaker. It could be a speaker, but it can also be just that they sat and had dinner with someone and it just turned on a light bulb. You know, or they had while they were sharing a drink at the bar, and it's like, oh, this was huge. Sometimes those are the biggest things you get. And let's just run down a couple of key things that are going on at Mile High, actually. All right, because there's lots of great things going on stage. We have incredible speakers, right? Of course. In addition to that, like that's a given. There's more, right? So some of the more is that one, we have an ACP, Academy of Chiropractic Philosophers panel. Right? So people are deep in their philosophy. Yeah. Brian Dooley is running it.
Oh, I love Brian Dooley. What a gift. You know, you mentioned Sherman College of Chiropractic, right? Yeah. It's the center of the chiropractic universe located in the beautiful foothill mountains of the Blue Ridge Mountains of Spartanburg, South Carolina. But what else is going on there, Danny? Well, so you have Brian Dooley, you have the ACP.
Yeah, he's doing an ACP program, and on that panel is Judy Campanelli, Steve Tullius.
Fantastic.
Steve Tullius.
Wonderful.
Janice Hughes and Matt Jackson are going to be on that philosophy panel. That's awesome.
Outstanding.
That's outstanding. There's an IFCO success panel, question and answer success panel. You're on that panel, of course.
I'm great.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, I'm fantastic. But listen, I do want to make a plug real quick. You mentioned Steve Tullius.
Yeah.
Danny, have you heard the success he's having filling people's offices with people that have neurodevelopmental disorders?
It's amazing.
Through Facebook targeting and adding. Steve Tullius is doing fantastic. I can't wait. I'm going to be sitting in front row listening to that.
And
but go ahead, continue.
That's why he's speaking and on the philosophy panel.
I can't wait to hear what he has to say. He's working now with people with mental health. He is, and by the way, well, I'm not at liberty to tell you all he's doing, but he's doing some phenomenal stuff that you're talking about nationwide. Some big changes are going to happen. Your offices, if you're connected with Steve Tullius, your office is going to begin to flood with even more chiropractic patients than you ever thought before. By the way, not debasing, not devaluing chiropractic, actually putting us on a pedestal where we deserve to be, because we're the only doctors in the world that are focused on optimizing the experience by removing neurons, i.e. vertebral. So continue. So you've got me in the IF panel. What
an IF panel, and again, I try to mainly people that are not speakers, but since you only have a minute, then figured you could be on that. Okay.
Well, I gotta.
But on panels, my wife Rochelle Knowles.
She's great.
She's my favorite character on it.
I can say that
clearly. Elise Rigney, and you know Elise Rigney, she's got 3 associates.
Elise is great.
Yeah, she's all IFCO members on the IFCO panel.
Oh,
she's expanding into a 5,000 square foot office because they're killing it in Fort Collins.
Wow.
With pediatrics. And focusing on moms, and so she's going to be on that. Shane Kurth, another local Colorado doc that's an IFCO member that's doing incredible things with social media, is going to be on that.
Oh, wow. Oh, I'm looking forward to that.
So it's going to be an incredible panel, and some more. And so the speakers, there's going to be a LCW lunch. There's going to be a Sherman informational session. There's an after party. Because after the show, there's the after party, and after the party, there's the hotel lobby, right? So,
that's right. And by the way, I slept 12 hours today just to prepare for Mile High. I'm going to start sleeping 12 hours a day from here on in.
I would suggest that, because the altitude will get you along with the hours. So
that's very
true. I mean, it's going to be an incredible program, and expect nothing less. I will say this: you mentioned the Marriott. I don't think there's any more rooms left. I think people that haven't gotten their hotel, they're staying somewhere else, and I think that's the case. I think Saturday or Sunday there was 8 rooms left in the whole place. So
I know I bought a whole floor.
I know.
I rented a whole floor this year, but that's because I need a little space to move around.
I get it. So, well, and so some people are going to have to stay somewhere else. but happened in the news, right? So
That's the yeah. People on this mile, let my fans still get a ticket.
yeah, 2-1, register www.milehighchiro.org. Very easily. Chiro, if you don't know how to spell Chiro, Chiro. It's not Cairo like Egypt. It's Chiro, like chiropractic.
Oh, okay. All right,
Okay.
let me write that down.
That's number one. And number two, we'll even give people a coupon code MileHigh50. It saves you $50. So
Oh, great.
Mile High, all one word with the number 50. And when you check out, you get $50 off. So great opportunity, and just get there. Find a way to get there. I'm sure there's people that will let you sleep on their floor or something, or you can stay in another hotel, right? So,
by the way, I'll let somebody sleep on my floor. I have no problem with that.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Danny, I got to tell you, I'm so honored again to have this opportunity to speak with you. I'm honored to be part of the Mile High movement. Because it's something that, gosh, we need it for so long in the United States. We have so many chiropractic seminars out there today, but there are very few that just focus on the detection, analysis, and correction of vertebral subluxation and how to do that in a successful market. I look at so many other seminars, and I look at people putting up, pictures of B.J. Palmer and Fred Barge and D.D. and everything, and then the message that comes out after that is not congruent with the founders of chiropractic, and then somehow we get labeled as hate straights, for just talk. By the way, and again, we get labeled as hate straights just for talking about the principle of chiropractic, and it couldn't be farther. To call me a hate straight can't be farther from the truth. I'm just somebody who's clarifying. I'm a clarifier. I'm clarifying the issue, and I don't hate anybody who's practicing anything other than pure principled chiropractic. I don't hate those people. I absolutely don't hate those people. Just to be on the record, there's no hate in my heart for anybody. Okay, you don't build a massive operation working with hate. You build it on trust. You build it on confidence. You build it on love. But what I will do is clarify. And I know B.J. Palmer was a good clarifier. Fred Barge was a great clarifier. D.D. Palmer was a great clarifier. Tom Gilardi is a great clarifier. Some of the greatest chiropractors on the planet, they said what chiropractic was, and they said what chiropractic wasn't, and they had no problem with doing that, and they didn't have to hate the people in the process of clarifying what it is and what it isn't.
And what you also do is focus. Is that laser focus in a certain area. And by the way, that tends to be a business success tip for other things too.
I agree.
Laser focus.
I agree. I agree. And by the way, some of the folks that are not focused on let's say chiropractors say in specific markets where it's okay, they can pass on that. Like for example, Danny, there's some differences between people in, let's say, Southern California, right? The lifestyle in Southern California versus personal Nebraska. I mean, there's a certain marketing standpoint. There's a different level of evolution, you might want to call it,
right,
of understanding, you might want to call it. So you have to be very careful to pick your mentors, right? To pick your mentors and make sure that they're giving a message that'll work in your market. And that's what I find so often. And one of the things I find is that the message that we give, detection, analysis, and correction of vertebral subluxation, works in any market,
right,
any market, the planet. And we've done that with experience. So again, you just have to be cautious when you hear people bringing other things into chiropractic. You have to do a full analysis of it without hate, with total love, but you have to do a full analysis of that picture. And again, you have to model people that don't just have maybe one office, but have multiple offices, because obviously if what they're doing is creating more and more offices, they found something. Like I think of, Dr. Sean Dill, the specific. Obviously, he's onto something that is successful. He continues to grow the amount of offices. I think he's surpassed me. I think he's over 20 right now, chiropractic offices. And what is his specific, unique proposition? Detection, analysis, and correction of vertebral subluxation. I look at Mr.
I
Ellis with it.
understand that's all they do there. Is that correct?
That's it, and upper cervical. So, and again, they've been called hate straights because they only adjust C1 and C2.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like calling BJ Palmer hate straight. It's like, and by the way, nothing wrong with doing techniques, obviously, right? Well, did I say? Network is my secret weapon of success. But the fact of the matter is, it always has to be on detection, analysis, and correction of vertebral subluxation if you're going to be calling it chiropractic.
Right.
And
right.
that's not a hateful statement.
Right. Right. And 1,000%. So I'll tell you, Dr. Shubel,
Yes.
we are extremely grateful for you taking your valuable time because, you know, we know how valuable it is, and you don't just give that away to be with us on the Mile High stage and also on to the Mile High podcast. We're really grateful for that. So thank you so much for being part of the dog.
Even the dog loves me.
Even the dog loves you. So thank you so much for being part of Mile High. Thank you for being on the Mile High podcast. We look forward to seeing you in Colorado on higher ground August 17th to 20th. Again, in listening to this podcast, if you have not subscribed, subscribe when you're listening so you never miss an episode because we have so many episodes that are slated for the whole year. And by the way, I've got to ask you this, Dr. Liam. Number one, if people want to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you and learn more about what you're doing?
Well, Danny, I'm glad you mentioned that, and I got to tell you, it's a real privilege and pleasure, as I said, to speak here with you this morning. Folks that are interested in our chiropractic products and services, you know, Danny, we have some of the best-selling chiropractic posters and brochures on the planet.
I know.
And the reason why is we don't put things out there unless they produce referrals. I don't think you should have anything in your office or on your office walls unless it's producing referrals for you. We want ROI. We want to get this message out to the world. So they can get in touch with those products and services at www.schubelvisionworldwide.com. Schubel is Schubel, schubelvisionworldwide.com. Also, remember my smash hit book, Has to Be Chiropractors. And we also offer the best chiropractic associate position on the planet, as well as the best mission trip ever. That can all be found at www.schubelvisionworldwide.com. And again, I have high-level coaching. Most people cannot afford to coach with me. That's fine, okay? But we're developing, Danny, right now, something very exciting. I actually learned this from Sean Dill with the Black Diamond Club. We're developing a Schubel Vision Elite Club that people can have access to me for certainly a much lower buy-in. And again, not just me, my team that I work with, and we'll be announcing the details of that sometime in the future. But if folks want to get connected with us, schubelvisionworldwide.com. We're doing our next Schubel Vision in Caja de Sol in Brazil, December 8th and 9th. And of course, that information will be up on the webpage as well. So, and by the way, I think Irene Gold's going to be at that one. That's going to be fantastic. So we're excited. Things are moving forward. I got to tell you, Frankie Hahn is doing a great job with IFCO Television. I'll be broadcasting live from Mile High Chiro, the event there in August. You're definitely going to want to check that out. And again, I'm so grateful to not only you, Dr. Danny Knowles, but Dr. Rochelle Knowles and the entire Mile High team. I know this is a huge sacrifice for you guys. I know you have so much things going, but certainly not something that you have to do in least. I know you do it out of the love of heart for this chiropractic profession and for the planet and that we've been gifted to live on for this period of time. And so thank you for being crucial to the transformation and evolution of the planet with the Mile High Chiro movement. Appreciate you, my good friend.
Well, and that goes both ways. I appreciate all the things you're doing, and I can't wait to see you. I haven't seen you in too long. So it's going to be stellar. Everybody's going to be really enjoying Mile High, and I'm really grateful for that last minute that you'll share. We may even extend it for you. So because of all the wonderful things that you just said.
Just make sure I have some good walk-up music, okay? Because that's usually the most memorable part of my talk.
Well, we'll do that, and we'll also make sure my son has a sign to hold up for you.
That's right. Oh, he loves cutting me off.
So we'll see you in August. And by the way, what trip are you going to take? I know you're going to be taking some trip somewhere. When you come out to Colorado, you're doing some sightseeing or hiking.
I'm considering Telluride to go do some hiking out in Telluride. You ever been out in that? That's a box canyon, Danny.
Yeah,
in case you didn't know.
Beautiful. Yeah, you should do that. And
Danny,
people should do things like that
canyon
when they come out. So, absolutely.
You know what? I got to tell you, Crested Butte's still my favorite.
I understand.
Tell your wife.
Well, on that note, thank you for joining us. And it's always great to have you around. And people will love this podcast. It'll be one of their favorites. And join us at Mile High, August 17th to 20th, www.milehighchiro.org. don't hesitate, grab it, and even use the coupon code Mile High. We will see you there. Like our page on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Mile High Chiro.